Well, hello crafty friends and welcome to my studio. It's Sherry from Creating Sherry, and in this Christmas video I am going to use a wonderful die set from Hero Arts. It's called their looking glass dies. Now, I'm a fan of these looking glass dies. They are a set of 3 small squares and they layer as if you're looking through a window or glass at them. This particular one that we're using today is called Winter Forest, and it features some kind of birch trees, some evergreens, and a beautiful deer in a silhouette as well. Let me show you a couple of examples of the ones I've made up so far. So you can see what I've done in the top folding card here is allowed the greens to kind of come through really pretty. Small sentiment on the bottom there and a watermark inside to be something that is just a little extra love. Going with a nice bold red background, matching the red sentiment on this one. In each of the cards that we make today, we're going to change up the colors in the layers so you can see how the layers come together. And we're using some dimensional foam tape to really add some luxury and loft to the way these cards come together. So let's get Christmas creating. Okay, so let's turn up the speed on what I'm doing here, because really what you're about to see me do is a lot of cutting and die cutting and assembly. So I'll talk you through how this will work. First, I need to know, does anybody else have a specific paper cutter for different sizes of paper they like to cut? This one is by We Are Memory Keepers, and it has such good measurements on it that you can tell that I like to use this for smaller pieces. Also, it is smaller. So I've got these 4 colors of paper here that I'm going to be using to cut out each one of the layers that we have. So in the looking glass planes, you can choose which order the layers go in, and you'll see me do that in a minute. But the trick here to using them is to have the exact same size square as you have in each layer for the die cuts themselves. Here's my little deer. We've just got the trees, and now here's some sort of birch type trees looking. I put it on the white so you could see it better, and you can see when I kind of stack them together, they come into a little arrangement like a window pane. So I had a couple ready, and one thing that I really like being able to do is add dimension here. So as I grab my glue press, what I'm doing is I'm putting this first layer down on what I call the back layer. So I guess technically that's layer 1 and 2 in my hand right now. Next, I'm going to take these 2 layers and I'm going to glue them together. So the front layer and the second layer, using a little bit of glue around the side here and just a touch on the deer's leg that goes over the tree there. So those are all secured together. Now the magic is when you can add some loft and dimension to this. So using some double-sided foam tape here, I'm adding that to the frame, and then to support the deer that will be sort of in the center of this picture, putting a little on the body of the deer and the neck of the deer as well. Peel, 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 peel. That's my favorite thing to do, and get all of this backing off of the double-sided foam. I'm not sure why I hold that tool in my hand when I do it, maybe because I like writing and that's my thing. There we go. So we've got a view of how this is all lofted up now. This guy comes out for every card in my craft room. So just burnishing off that top folding card, and now we're going to assemble. I find double-sided paper so confusing. I like the choice, but I'm so sad when I cover up a pretty picture like that truck just was. Anyways, we're going to adhere this. So now I have it nicely matted, and I'm going to take the piece that we put together for the looking glass, and I'm going to put it kind of in the top third. So that's what the top folding card looks like. And now from my little tickle trunk of sentiment strips, I'm picking one, Warmest Wishes, all the year through, and I'm going to pop that up, which means the sentiment will be on the same level as the looking glass plane as well. Both will be popped up. The recipient, when they get this card, will feel what that is like to have a little extra luxury and loft in the card. So there we go, but let's look inside. I don't know about you, but I find when we create a card, putting something on the inside and embellishing the envelope are 2 of my favorite ways to make sure people understand what a handmade craft this is for you. So My Sweet Petunia is a great company, and this is another workhorse tool in my craft room. It's called the Misty, and it's a stamp positioner. So what I'm doing is I'm putting that ink down, and voila, that tree actually came out perfect. I'm using an ink called Crumb Coat, and you can see here in a moment, I've done that on the inside of all of these cards. One thing I like to do with Christmas cards is produce a few of the same cards Often I'll give them as gifts, as little sets, and it's nice to be able to have it, as if they'd bought a box set from their, I don't know, Costco or whoever they buy their cards from. But giving them an option to have a handmade card is different. Now here's me with my glue, getting that all matted together and put on. I'm a chronic overadherer. I might have learned that from Kathy Zilski, who I love and admire. In her lives and her videos, she often refers to herself as a chronic adheser. But who wants to have these come apart? Nobody, right? So there we go. We add a bit more glue to this. And again, you'll see me position it sort of in the top third, centered from left to right. Need another sentiment strip on this one. And you can start to see how the same card comes out beautifully, uniquely when you change up the pattern paper that you're using and the colors of each of the layers. So in this, you can see there's a deer that's quite in a dark brown. There's a couple of deers that are in more of a fawn type colored or beige, but some of the cards have a red background. Okay, wait, all three have a red mat, but they have different kind of pattern paper on their backgrounds. And then the sentiment strips just make it come together. Let's take a closer look at this one here, inside and out. So you get the idea of me being able to put this together. That one with these three, let's move this mess out of the way. Okay, 3 beautiful cards that came together in no time, different layers, different colors, but the same sort of thing. This is my friend Lisa. She decided that for a craft fair that we were doing, her ornaments paired beautifully with this. And so we put them into a bundle and had them available. And it was so much fun making them. The natural look of her decorations that's on her rack for her store ready to go. I just felt so proud. Friends, thank you so much for being with me. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.